UNESCO estimates there are over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor. 3 million ships, 3 million stones, most of them never told. Today we are telling 5 of them. A ship that killed more people than the Titanic and the Lusitania combined, and whose story was hidden for decades. A ferry that carried 4,000 people and left 26 survivors. A warship that capsized in a river, within sight of the shore, while families watched from the bank. A hospital ship sunk by its own country, and the single deadliest maritime disaster in all of human history. A ship so catastrophic that 6 times more people died on it than on the Titanic. Most people have never heard of any of them. By the end of this video, you will never forget them. The ocean is the largest graveyard on Earth. Every shipwreck in this video has one thing in common. Not the cause, not the location, not the era. What they share is this. Each one reveals something about human beings that is deeply uncomfortable to look at. Greed, arrogance, cowardice, negligence, war. The ocean does not create disasters. Human beings create disasters. The ocean simply decides who comes back. These are 5 of the times it decided against almost everyone. This is Iron Ink, and today we go into the deepest stories the ocean has kept. The 30th of January, 1945. The Baltic Sea. Minus 18 degrees Celsius. The Second World War was almost over. Soviet armies were advancing westward through Poland and East Prussia. German civilians, hundreds of thousands of them, were fleeing toward the Baltic coast in desperate hope of evacuation by sea. The MV Wilhelm Gustloff was a German ocean liner. Built in 1937 as a cruise ship for the Nazi leisure program, 684 feet long, originally designed for 1,900 passengers. On the night of the 30th of January, 1945, more than 10,000 people were crammed aboard her. Women, children, wounded soldiers from the Eastern Front, naval cadets, refugees carrying everything they owned in whatever bags they could find. The ship had lifeboats for 5,000. Many of those lifeboats had been removed over the years and never replaced. Some were frozen solid to the deck. At 9:16 p.m., Soviet submarine S-13, commanded by Captain Alexander Marinsko, fired 4 torpedoes. 3 hit their target. The Wilhelm Gustloff sank in just over 1 hour. Of the estimated 10,000 people aboard, only 1,239 survived. Approximately 9,000 people died in freezing water, in darkness, in the final weeks of a war that was already lost. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff is the deadliest maritime disaster in all of recorded history. More than 3 times the death toll of the Titanic. More than 4 times the Lusitania. And almost nobody outside Germany has ever heard of it. Why? Because the Nazi regime censored all news of the sinking. Survivors were forbidden to speak about it. The story was buried under the chaos of the war's end, and then buried again under the discomfort of its context. The victims were German. The perpetrators were Soviet. In the aftermath of World War II, neither side had reason to broadcast the story. 9,000 people went into the Baltic Sea on the 30th of January, 1945. The ocean kept almost all of them. The 20th of December, 1987. The Tablas Strait, the Philippines. The MV Dona Paz was a passenger ferry running a routine route from Leyte Island to Manila the week before Christmas. Families traveling home for the holidays. The official manifest listed 1,583 people. The actual number, including those without tickets, was estimated between 3,000 and 4,000, more than 4 times the ship's certified capacity. At 10:30 p.m., it collided with the MT Vector, a small oil tanker carrying 8,800 barrels of petroleum products. The cargo ignited immediately. Within minutes, the Dona Paz was engulfed in fire. People leapt into the water. The water itself caught fire from the burning oil on the surface. No functioning radio, no safety training, no life jackets, no organized evacuation. The ship sank in approximately 2 hours. When rescue vessels arrived, they found an ocean of fire. Total survivors from a ship carrying up to 4,000 people, 26. The official death toll, 4,341, the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster in history. Investigation found the vector was operating without certification. Its crew was unlicensed. The Dona Paz itself was years overdue for inspection. 4,000 people boarded a floating fire hazard 10 days before Christmas. 26 came home. The 2 disasters we've covered happened far from shore. Open water. Darkness. The next one happened in a river, in the middle of a city, while people on the banks watched and could do nothing. The 24th of July, 1915, the Chicago River. The SS Eastland was docked just feet from shore, waiting to take 2,500 employees of the Western Electric Company on a company picnic. The Eastland had a known problem. Engineers had reported for years that the ship was dangerously top-heavy. It had a tendency to list when passengers gathered on one side. Reports had been filed. Warnings issued. Nothing done. That morning, as passengers boarded and moved toward the riverside to wave to friends on the dock, the ship began to lean. Slowly at first, then faster. At 7:28 a.m., the Eastland rolled completely onto its side while still tied to the dock. The river was just 6 meters deep. The ship's mast touched the riverbed. People in the lower decks were trapped instantly. Furniture slid across tilting floors. Boiling water from overturned engines flooded the cabins. People drowned in water barely above their heads. Families on shore watched it happen in real time. Rescue workers arrived within minutes. It did not matter. 835 people died. In a river, tied to a dock, in the middle of a city. The Eastland remains the deadliest single-ship disaster in American history. A memorial was placed near the site 91 years later. The Titanic had a sister ship. The HMHS Britannic was built by the same company, at the same shipyard, but after the Titanic sank, every safety lesson was incorporated. A double hull, extended watertight bulkheads, enough lifeboats for everyone aboard, larger davits for faster launches. It was the safest ship ever built. It sank on its 5th voyage. The 21st of November, 1916, the Aegean Sea. The Britannic had been converted into a hospital ship, carrying wounded soldiers from the Gallipoli campaign. At 8:12 a.m., an explosion ripped through the forward hull, mine or torpedo, disputed to this day. The captain turned the ship toward a nearby island to beach it before it sank. A critical error. The turn opened portholes on the lower decks to the sea. Water flooded in faster than the pumps could handle. 2 lifeboats, lowered before the ship stopped moving, were pulled into the still-turning propellers. 30 people died in those 2 boats alone. The Britannic sank in 55 minutes, faster than the Titanic. The lesson: the ocean doesn't grade on improvement. The 27th of April, 1865, the Mississippi River. 3 days after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. The Civil War had just ended. Thousands of Union soldiers, former prisoners of war, thin and broken from years in Confederate camps, were finally going home. The SS Sultana had a certified capacity of 376. That night, it carried 2,137 people. One of its boilers had a known crack. A quick repair had been made with a thinner metal plate than the job required. The captain was advised to wait for a proper fix. He didn't. The soldiers needed to get home. At 2 a.m., 7 miles north of Memphis, all 3 repaired boilers exploded simultaneously. The explosion was heard 10 miles away. The wooden ship caught fire instantly. Men who had survived years of starvation and captivity were thrown into the Mississippi in the dark, in floodwater, many too weak to swim. The official death toll, 1,168. Historians estimate the true number closer to 1,800. The deadliest maritime disaster in American history. And almost no one knows it happened. Why? Because it happened 3 days after Lincoln was shot. The assassination consumed every newspaper, every conversation, every ounce of national grief. 1,800 soldiers who survived the war drowned in a river 3 days later, and the nation was too busy mourning its president to notice. 5 shipwrecks, 5 different oceans, 5 different centuries, 9,000 dead in the Baltic, 4,000 dead in the Philippines, 835 dead in a Chicago river, 30 dead on the safest ship ever built, 1,800 dead on the Mississippi. What connects all of them? Not the water, not the weather, not bad luck. In every single case, human beings knew there was a risk and decided to proceed anyway. Every disaster in this video was preventable. The ocean doesn't kill people. Decisions do. The ocean just finalizes them. Which of these 5 shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments. We've already covered the full Titanic story and the forensic truth behind what really caused it. Both videos are on this channel. Subscribe to Iron Inc. Every week we go deeper into the ships the ocean refused to give back. The deep never forgets, and neither do we. Iron Inc., where the ocean tells the truth.